All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Sons of Montezuma podcast. It is the eve of the play-in game. The first four, San Diego State versus North Carolina. We are back. We're very excited. Got a couple more little things we want to dive into. And a lot going on about this game. It's going to be everywhere, and everybody's going to be watching it. And we hope you're watching us, so stick around.
As far as I'm concerned, the committee missed North Carolina. There's just no case for them at all. In fact, I've been doing this a very long time, and no team that I've ever dealt with has so conclusively proven that they're not an NCAA tournament team and still made the field.
Some dude named Bubba had something to do with this, as in Bubba Cunningham, the selection, athletic director at North Carolina, and you gonna pick this team that can't stop a damn cold.
And as I've said many times, it's a TV show. You want to get the right teams, big names in there. Did West Virginia get snubbed? Perhaps. Should North Carolina have been in there? Probably not.
Can't even stop a cold. Boy, that was pretty cold. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode, Sons of Montezuma. Big week NCAA tournament talk. Can't get enough of it. March Madness is here. It's been here. It's been maddening. And, big game tomorrow. Big games. From East County to East Tahoe. Wasn't able to join us last night, but in the house, what is going on? It's Mr. Boy, it's Mike. It's Mike is in the building. Mike's in the building. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Ready to go. Been looking forward to this. Listening to you guys last night, and maybe we can add a little bit of depth to that.
It is going to get a little deep, man. I mean, North Carolina is a blue blood, and as we showed in the intro, I mean, this game, I don't know. This is such a high-profile game, Mike, and everybody is talking trash about this opponent of ours. ACC, dude, we haven't had the best of luck against ACC teams, let's be honest. And all this trash talk from the media, I mean, I kind of don't like it personally. I don't really. It's fun to laugh about, and all the national pundits. I mean, you're seeing Stephen A. and I mean, for crying out loud, everybody's just saying how undeserved that spot is for North Carolina, but I don't like it one bit, man. I know they're bringing up facts and metrics and stats and data and analytics, and we're pretty mixed on this show when it comes to that kind of stuff. And, tracking all that stuff all season long, you get to this point where now we have this matchup against North Carolina, and everybody's mad because it didn't seem like any of those things went into effect when it came to announcing them in the bracket. And it's who we got to play. So a couple little things to talk about. That'll be one of them. Of course, Magoon is officially cleared to play. That'll be another thing we'll talk about in this recording. And then we're going to take a look at some of the North Carolina players. I kind of wanted to take a little closer look at who is on their team. Tried to get some North Carolina podcasters on, but it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. I think they know this is not one of their finer years. So, Mike, what's going on, man? We didn't have you on last night. How are you feeling after the Mountain West tournament and now that we got to play North Cackalack?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Honestly, I don't know if to be fair, I don't know if we should have been in, but we're in. I don't know if North Carolina should have been in, but they're in. And we get to play each other. So the fact of the matter to me is I don't really care what any of these guys say. North Carolina's in and we have to play them. The rest is all rubbish to me. That's it. Who's in front of us? We're in front of them. And we're going to battle with them tomorrow night. And that is, I was texting my buddy who went to UNC, and he's like, I don't. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. But this is exciting. Why you won a chance to play the best. North Carolina is still North Carolina. Let's not forget, North Carolina and San Diego State have been 2 of the last 3 national championship games. So let's not, stand on ceremony and say, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. You get hot and you get going. Anything can happen, man. And we've seen in the past that one of the first 4 typically gets to at least the Sweet 16, I think, in almost every year.
Yeah, I think they were talking about that number 11 seed being like one of those seed lines that play in games have, teams that have played in those have gone a long ways. So whether it's North Carolina or us, I hear what you're saying, man. I mean, both of these programs have really proven to be over the last couple of years, dude. Like San Diego State, let's talk about us. Okay, let's start with us because you said something there, and we're kind of giving you.
I know. Yeah,
we're giving you a hard time. We're giving you a hard time. We've talked about this. Like, hey, lose to Boise, and then it's all of a sudden, it might be NIT time. It might be NIT time. That wasn't the case, but now that we've gotten in on the playing game, you said both these teams may have not deserved to get in. I think obviously North Carolina got in on reputation, right? But I think so did we in our large respect. Yes, we had the out of conference success in the early part of the season, but like you said, we've been in the Natty a couple years ago. That consistency of this program over the long haul. I kind of like it because obviously it tells you we've arrived, obviously, in the brand and the national, the national consensus of people when they think of San Diego State, they know it's for real, it's legit. Whereas, getting that treatment that a North Carolina obviously gets. So I don't know, man. Do you want to elaborate on what your thoughts were as far as us and where we're seated and getting this opportunity?
I mean, we at this point, you are who you are, right? North Carolina can't guard anybody, but they can score. We can guard everybody, and we can't score, right? So that's going to be an interesting, because if we score, we can beat anybody. But like we saw Boise, I think if we hold the team with under 60 points, we've won every game or something like that this year. So it's, I mean, number one in defensive. I was looking at this. I gotta take care of our guy here because he's not here tonight. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do a little stats for you. So we're the number one in defensive field goal percentage in the nation, which was amazing to me. I didn't realize that was that high. And the other thing too is we're number 13 in KenPom defensive efficiency right now, right? UNC has played 7 teams in the top 13 in defensive efficiency in this year, and they're 0-7.
Yeah.
So again, it comes down to, I was listening to somebody say, if they score the ball and take care of the ball, they're going to win. If they don't, they won't. Yeah, no shit.
Right.
So you take care of the ball, you rebound, and obviously it comes down to scoring. I mean, North Carolina averages 80-something points a game, but we tend to keep those teams that we play well below their average. I mean, I think it's like almost like double digit below their average. So our problem all year, more than I think anything, is scoring droughts, which is ironic because I think we have 19 runs of 10 plus points this season, the most we've ever had. So it's, you get that. We're the youngest team in the field. Last year, we were the oldest team. So it's kind of interesting to see us here and have an opportunity to play on the biggest stage on Tuesday night against North Carolina, 6:10 Pacific time, 9:10 Eastern. It's everything you want. You get the opportunity, or does the opportunity get you? Which is it? So we're going to see. I'm excited about these kids, man. I'm really pumped to see how they come out and play because I think they play up to competition. We've seen that. And Magoon coming back obviously is a massive, massive plus, especially with putting him and JCJ or Heidi in there against North Carolina, who isn't as big as us, which we got bigger because of UConn, quite frankly. I mean, let's just be honest, right? So it's I love it, man. Like I said, I thought when we lost to Boise, I said, nah, there's no way. But all the chips fell our way in terms of no real bid stealers, except Colorado State. And sometimes things fall your way and you get the opportunity. Same thing happened with North Carolina. They got the opportunity. Now, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it on the biggest stage that you've wanted to play in your whole life, right? We lost 90% of our scoring from last year, and we still made the tournament. That's a hell of a coaching job.
Absolutely, man. I mean, this is a young, excitable, and very inconsistent team, but the program has been super consistent, and we're rewarded. We're rewarded for this. Now, let's talk a little bit here, because the Tar Heels, okay, 22-13 overall, right? Which isn't, it's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. But like we noted, 1-12 in quad one games. You talked about it. They were what 1-8, 0-8 against defensive efficient teams in the top. What was it, 30? Whatever you said.
0-7 in the top against the top 13. Now it's probably
Top 13.
at that time when they played them, not necessarily. I
Yeah.
don't know if they're all in 13 right now, but yeah, they struggle with good defensive teams
And the tricky part is that the ACC is, I mean, it's down right now, right? I mean, Duke is one of the top teams, but as a conference as a whole, they're pretty down right now. The fact that there weren't many bid stealers overall in the tournament, it kind of created that opportunity where obviously Bubba, the director of the bracket committee, and the bracket committee in general, since there weren't so many bid stealers, it kind of created that opportunity where you need a national brand in there. Okay, let's throw in UNC in the first four. Let's get them in there. So, like what you're saying, it's kind of a perfect situation for them to get lumped in. And let's be honest, when I look at their schedule, like I said, ACC's down, but the last how many games, if we're looking at who's playing very well towards the end of the season, I mean, I'm looking at a win at Syracuse, North Carolina State, Virginia, Florida State, Miami, Virginia Tech. I mean, that is essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6-game winning streak. They lost to Duke, got destroyed. Then they beat Notre Dame, beat Wake Forest, lost to Duke again, and talking in their tournament. So, I mean, they've been on a roll. They may have not been beating the best teams out there, but they've been on a roll, beating their conference mates and stacking up those wins late in the year. So you got to play who's in front of you. They almost beat Duke. I know the metrics weren't on their side, but recency bias says they're playing some really good basketball towards the end of the year and doing enough to get the wins. So I see T-Mac. Never trust anyone named Bubba. T-Mac, it's been a little while, man. Appreciate you. Gotta give you your respect there. Thank you so much for the love, T-Mac. Oh, Barry and La Mesa, the whole country will be gooning tomorrow. Absolutely. T-Mac says, we got this, man. It is obvious that UNC is underestimating SDSU. We also have a big length advantage. I'm curious, so what do you think? Why do you think UNC is underestimating SDSU? Because I don't get that. I don't get that sense at all. Maybe I haven't been reading the same things that's been out there or seeing the same videos. I don't think anybody's really talking about San Diego State, to be honest. It's all about North Carolina and how undeserving they are to be in this situation. You feel what I'm saying? I think all that talk is pretty much negative against UNC, and I don't like it because they're going to hear all that smack talk and come out with a chip on their shoulder. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, the interesting, like, let's digest this all. So the North Carolina athletic director is the head of the NCAA tournament committee, right? He recuses himself from the room, and all I can think about is that scene in Succession where the dad is sitting there outside of the glass window, just watching everybody, right? But the other thing is West Virginia, the AG or whatever, the Attorney General was talking about suing the NCAA, which is dumb, right? But I believe he's also sued the NCAA for some NIL stuff too. So I don't know if that would have came into play, but I also think these guys are storytellers. They don't have to take certain teams.
Right.
They could take whoever they want.
Yeah.
You know, these bracket guys. I mean, these bracket guys just go on, they're numbers guys. right? You kind of take in the human element, the factor of entertainment, of all this stuff that they want to see. Yeah, he gets a bonus, whatever. I don't care, right? So I am really excited about playing North Carolina. I am pumped to play a blue blood team like North Carolina, who's had such a history of success. Dutch, the last time they played him was when he lost the turn when Weber hit called the timeout in the national championship game. I think '93, I believe it was. So it's to me, it's an opportunity for. I feel like we're playing with house money because if UNC doesn't win, you're like, see, shouldn't have been in, shouldn't have been in. But if they do, they're like, all right, well, they're still UNC. So I feel like all the pressure is necessarily on them. Now we have pressure, right? You want to win a ball game and keep going and stuff like that. But I feel like as the youngest team in the field, kind of the last one in the field, you get to play North Carolina. Yeah, the travel was off, but whatever. That happens. You gotta make adjustments. So I just am really excited to play them tomorrow night and see how the chips fall.
Well, okay, but in case people don't understand, their charter plane, North Carolina's charter plane, ran into some issues, and they're late. They're late getting there to Dayton. Last I heard, right?
A 2-hour flight.
Yeah.
Hour and a half flight.
What did that turn into? I don't know. And you brought up a good point. San Diego State, we're playing with house money. North Carolina, they're playing with Bubba's money. You glossed over it, but $104,000 bonus for the team making it. That's Bubba, the athletic director. So hey, I think you hit it right on the head. All these bracketologists, experts. Okay, that's one way to measure the season and how good a team does. But you just got to remember, it's not an exact science. It's a TV show. I love what you're saying, man. I mean, it's right on point.
Nevada last year, right? Virginia, was it? No, it was Nevada last year. Virginia the year before, right? So there's always a team. Oh, well, they're in 110 out of 110 brackets. Who fucking cares, dude? Like nobody's perfect. You're never going to get every single thing right. You're always going to miss a couple, right? Nobody's 100%. But the bracket guys, 179 brackets. First of all, I didn't realize there's that many brackets. And it's just, to me, it's you want to get in. You want to play as a team. You have one more run with these guys. You get a chance to play Tuesday, so you've only been off 4 days, right? So I feel like when you play that first game, whoever wins that first game, the rust is off, and then you get an extra day to play Friday, which is strange to me. Like that was a weird anomaly for me, but this is what it's all about, dude. This is what you play the games for, and get the opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament on national TV against North Carolina on True TV at 6:10 Pacific time, Tuesday night, March 18th.
Love that little plug. Let's talk about these two teams because you're bringing up some interesting points, right? When it comes to travel and all that stuff, we know as Aztecs fans, this team has been battle tested. Every team to make this tournament, I don't care if you feel they're deserving or not, every team feels optimistic that they can make a deep run. Every team has been battle tested to get to this point. Now, the Aztecs, their battles that they've been tested with, mostly like what we opened up with is losing 90% of your scoring and minutes played, whether it's through transfer, graduation. Injury has been the biggest thing. Reese Waters has not played a second for this team. He was arguably the best player coming in, most experienced player. And then with Magoon getting nicked up towards the end, of course, JCJ has been nicked up. People don't talk about Miles Bird being injured and playing through injury throughout the year enough. So injuries are part of the game. That's a part of their battle testing, as you would call it. New young players assuming new roles. It's been the talk of the season, right? But when we talk about North Carolina, their battle testing has been a little bit different, right? And a lot of it is the resume, the losses in the quad 1 games. A lot of quad 2 games they've won, right? Naturally, it happens in the ACC. And then the conference, right? The conference is just down. But I'm very interested to see these matchups because they're not the tallest team, like we talked about last night with Fiend. They're not the biggest team, most physical team. Whereas we have a size advantage, especially with Goon in there. Can we talk a little bit about Goon's presence on this team and his comeback? Because it was reported today. I want to say I know it was Ziegler and others for the UT, and announcing that basically and Schaefer for sure. He's out there, covering the team. He reported he saw the practice, the mandatory practice they had to be at as well. Everybody's going to be gooning tomorrow, like Barry says from La Mesa. We've got the battle testing, I think. So do they. But now we're getting Goon back. How are you feeling about Goon coming back and his contribution to this team?
Well, I'm excited. I'm glad he's not coming back. He makes our team better. He makes our defense better. He makes us better. So having him in the middle there with, knowing their guards aren't that big. I don't know how big their forwards are, but I don't think they top out more than 6'8", maybe. Forgive me if I'm misspeaking, but to have him in the back there. And you have, hopefully the guard, like I talked about a few pods ago, was trust him to be there, but trust yourself to guard before you have to rely on him. And the way he's been rebounding and he's just been playing really, really well until he got hurt. So I hope I don't know how much he's gonna play, but having him back is a very, very beneficial thing to have.
Well, we're gonna have the size advantage, but let's look at some of the matchups. Some of the matchups that I feel are gonna be pretty crucial. Coach Dutcher had his press conference, and I really liked what he had to say here. Let's play this little clip before we get into those matchups.
I don't want to lose with a scared team. So that might open it up for some mistakes, some wild shots. They might interpret that as being crazy, but you can't win being scared. So we'll go out there and I'll live with some shots they take as long as we're competing at a high level, defending the way I know we can. And I'll live with a shot or two that people may be watching from the stands or the sidelines saying, what is he doing? But I want him confident. You can't win in March unless you're confident. And I want a confident group out there tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I love it, man. When you think back on the Houston game in November, we talked about that a little bit last night. I mean, the team played with no fear. They were obviously very confident in knocking down their shots. And, it's a grind this season. So, they're obviously not exactly where you want them to be offensively, especially with that 9-minute drought we witnessed against Boise. But this is going to be a completely different game, different matchups. I wanted to dive into a couple players, a couple matchups I think are going to be pretty crucial for us. To me, it's Nick Boyd, man. It's Nick Boyd. He's a senior, but he's got another year of eligibility. 6'3", 175. He's been playing with his hair on fire these last few games. Averaging, I want to say just, 13.4 points a game. But in the quarterfinal game against Boise, I mean, he really showed out, continues to carry on his aggressiveness and taking it to the rim. It's been paying off confidence-wise, shooting as well. And being a playmaker, I mean, all around. I think we're really going to need him to continue that. Whether Magoon comes in or not, we don't know to what effectiveness Goon is going to be. I would think he's going to make a big difference. But offensively wise, looking for Mr. Boyd to do some big things and carry it on. I really wanted to point him out because I noticed that, he's got a matchup against another New Yorker. North Carolina's star player is also one of their guards, and that's RJ Davis, also from New York, White Plains, New York, 6 foot 180. He is a senior. He's been there in North Carolina, and he's a player, man. He's the one who really pushes that thing forward for the Tar Heels. So I think that matchup is going to be it's gonna be pretty fun to see these guys go back and forth. You've seen 17 points average for him, knock down all those shots, assists, terrific defensive player as well. And the fact these are two New York guys, man, I think they're gonna have some fun out there on the court. What is he? White Plains, and I think Nick is from a little closer on the Jersey side. I want to say Garnerville, New York. So I think that should be a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, it starts and ends with RJ Davis for that team. You know, he's a scorer. He's an elite level scorer, great player, senior. You have Elliot Godot, who's a good guard too. You know, it's like it you don't go to North Carolina unless you're a very good basketball player. Let's just be honest. So it's not like, oh, they snuck in and they're just like, oh, they blah, blah, blah. No, hey, man, you don't go to Carolina and you're not one of the top players in the country. You know, now we've started to creep into that range, but not like that. So I don't think you never underestimate your opponent. Like I've always said, we won't, they won't. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. If we come out and we hit threes early, I like that. But if we try and shoot threes early and we don't, we're in trouble. So I like to see us go to the hoop against them, drive, hit some free throws like the ladies did in the championship game. By the way, great game. Triple overtime. Unbelievable. Segue. I know we just go on different directions sometimes. So there we go, right? So the women's game was, I'll tell you what, that was one of the better games I've seen in a long time. Triple overtime. The women kept getting ahead. Wyoming came back and tied, and then we went to, you know, it was a great game, and congratulations to them for getting the tournament. It's the first time since 2012, I think. Have to go on to LSU, which is a tough task, but you know, they got in. They're building a great program there with Coach Hutch and Stacy. We'll call her Coach Stacy.
Saturday,
yeah, she got a great coaching staff too. So, and great kids. I was watching them on the sideline, and they were having fun. The girls were having fun, bouncing, bobbing, weaving to the music. I think her name is Megan. Number 13 is the catalyst for that. She seems to be the one who gets everybody pumped up. So, but they had fun, and you know, that's what you want. It's still a game, man. You know what I mean? You want to compete, you want to go out and win, but it's still a game. You're out there to play and have fun, and just see what you can do. You know, not everything ever always lines up. You know, there's only one winner every year. That's it. So is everybody else's season a bust? No. So, you know, that's kind of why I say Tom Brady's greater than Michael Jordan. I mean, obviously physically not the same, but Jordan could lose 2 or 3 games in a series and still win the series. Tom Brady has a bad drive and he's done. You know what I mean? So the one and done mentality is I love it in this arena. College basketball, I think, is the best. The pageantry, just everything about it is so much fun. You never know what's going to happen, and you get to see your. But I mean, does anybody really work Thursday and Friday? Like, let's just be honest. Not really. You know, I mean, it should just be a national holiday. But this is what it's all about, man. I really love it. I can't wait to watch this team and see how they play tomorrow. And if, Lord willing, if they get a win, man, hey, let's go. But I'm really proud of this team, how they've played all year, how they've stuck through all the injuries. You know, everybody questioning them and you know, the team and young and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I think to me, this is Coach's Dutch's best coaching job.
Yeah.
You know, you lose all that. You lose 90% of your team scoring. You lose your best player, conference preseason player of the year, and you still get to the NCAA tournament. I mean, that's special. And then, you know, like the whole Mountain West, we have 4 teams in. ACC's got 4 teams in. So, you know, it's I haven't really weighed in on that. Everybody kind of pisses on the Mountain West. We got 4 this year. What did we get? 6 last year? 4 the year before? 3, whatever. So we are top heavy. It's, you know, I think I've realized that they just want to get rid of San Jose, or Air Force and San Jose State in Wyoming. Really, you know what I mean? Because everybody else come with us for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, so it's basically going to be the same conference, except you just add Oregon State and Washington State. So
And Gonzaga, come on, you cannot
yeah, true.
discount
Okay,
Gonzaga.
yeah.
But I hear what you're saying. It's cutting off the fat. It's just cutting off
Yeah,
the fat.
it's so.
Yeah.
The Mountain West has still done what they needed to do, even with a 20-game schedule, and got 4 guys in. Right? I know everybody didn't like it, and I get it. Right? You want to
Listen,
but,
I'm not I'm not an apologist for the Mountain West, bro. You want to keep going on your pleading your case for the Mountain West? Hey,
I'm not pleading my case for them. I'm just thinking everybody should stop pissing on them like they're the worst conference in the world. We've been in the conference and we've helped make the conference, and everybody's just like, oh, this conference sucks. We want to get out of here. Blah 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 blah. Man, like I get it. But you know what? We go on to bigger and better things. Cool. But you can't forget who you went to the dance with. Right?
Apparently, we think we're big time because San Jose State declined the NIT tournament. They were like, no, we're too big for this. We're too big.
I thought you mean Nevada. Nevada.
Oh, did I mean Nevada?
Yeah, Nevada.
What was that? Boise? Was it Boise?
Well,
I think it was Boise. Boise's in the Diamond. Boise's in the Diamond. What is it? The Diamond tournament? It's like an NIL tournament, but postseason.
The Crown, the Crown tournament. But
the crown.
Anyways, we're.
Yeah, San Jose's in there.
You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like, hey, let's not forget. Don't forget your roots. But this is gonna be fun, man. You know what I mean? Like this is what you want. And hopefully we add on to our. I think we're 4-2 in the South region, right? I think this is where I was reading something. We'll be in the South, and we're 4-2 record in the South. So hopefully we can get to 5-2.
It's the Crow not invited tournament instead of the Crown. The Crow not invited tournament. Got it. Like it. I want to point out Larry Joe's comment. It's a really good comment here. He says foul trouble is going to be key. Got to stay away from it. Can't have guys picking up stupid fouls. That's my concern with this young team, is they have put other teams in the bonus early in halves. Now, I want to share this article. I was trying to effort getting the author of this article on. It didn't work out, but 3 things to watch for San Diego State in the first 4, and it's by Akil Guruparan. I want to say his name is right. And he lists a couple items, the turnover thing, talking about UNC's turnovers, that they haven't really had a turnover problem. Of course, they're very well aware of the return of Magoon Guath. And then he's got down here number 3, fouls and free throws. Now, he says, for comparison, Carolina is 34th in tempo at 70.4 possessions per 40, but commit just 16.8 fouls, and their opponents shoot 18.5 per game, which is about an average, which is without adjusting for tempo. He says the Aztecs play a pretty deep bench with 9 players, all playing at least 10 minutes per game. Their backup bigs and guards are alike, are significantly less effective players on both ends of the floor. And so basically what he's saying is that they get to the line. They've done a good job getting to the line and holding their opponents to not getting to the line out of control, in a sense. And we know that for the Aztecs, it's been a struggle, man. It's been a struggle getting to the line ourselves. So, if they're able to kind of sway and dictate the game in that sense, I mean, it's all part of strategy. We've got to be really careful on that. Because we just don't go to the line. It's been something we've said all year long. And in these games come down to these tight pressure moments. I hate to say it, but the refs sometimes they want to shape these games, right? And we'll get into our top 3 question, top 3 list in a second. But sometimes they like to shape these games, the story, the drama coming down to that last second shot. These playing games can get pretty wild. So I hear you, Larry Joe. I hear you.
Yeah, like kind of go back to my thing. Everybody dismisses to some extent the human element.
Mm-hmm.
You get so caught up in the metrics, the stats, the Ken Palm, blah blah blah. Like there's people involved, there's refs involved. Yeah, refs don't get it right all the time. Players don't get it right all the time. Coaches don't get it right all the time. So you just you do the best you can, and you play as hard as you can. And like Dutch said, hey, you can't really. It's tough to ask a girl out if you're not confident. right? Similar mentality of like, hey, you got to be confident in these games, otherwise you got to go play. You might not start off hot, but keep playing. It's a long game, 40 minutes, and just keep playing and trying. And you can't teach effort, right? So that's the one thing I think these kids get every game. And you play a team like North Carolina, you have to give effort the whole time. So I'll be curious to see who guards RJ Davis. I would like to see BJ guard him because I was watching BJ and he kind of reminds me of Kobe on defense. You know what I mean? Like kind of the way he just his manners. I talked to his pops when he was up here in Nevada, and I kind of asked him, because I still forget. Like, I mean, we're old, man. I can't remember. Like, I don't. Some of these guys' parents are younger than us. You know what I mean? So you're still trying to figure out like where are we on the scale of 80s, 90s, or today? You know what I mean? And I asked him. He's like, oh, he loved Kobe growing up. It was Kobe, and so I was like, a lot of these kids like LeBron. Right. So he just reminds me of that. And I would like to see him and how he plays hard and physical against RJ Davis. And then you get Magoon in the back behind him. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch defensively that you have to adjust to. Because if you don't, you're going to have a long night.
Yeah. I like that. I see that in his mannerisms as well, talking about BJ Davis and Kobe. I see that similarity as well. I want to bring in El Chino in just for a quick second. He's made some pretty good points here working in the staging room, and I wanted to give him a chance to fire off a little bit. What's going on, El Chino, the producer extraordinaire? What's going on?
Don't tell anybody. What's up, Mateo? What's up, Mike?
What's up, man?
What's going on? It feels good to have life again. You know what I mean? 0-0.
It does.
I like your comments in the chat here, talking about the physicality, and of course, what else you had there in the chat?
I think the physical play, it goes back to the bigs. You got to take it personal. I got to see the Heidi that's like bad boy, like Lambeer. You talk about Lambeer in previous episodes, Mateo. And I'm like, I need to see that bad boy Heidi come in and just get those rebounds where he's at and finish those shots. Like, it's between him and JCJ, not being afraid to shoot from three, get inside, draw those fouls. Like, the bigs need to take it personally, I think. Guard play will take you far in this tournament, but the bigs got to take it personally to get to Friday. That's where I'm seeing it.
And as far as like the refs dictating the play, I mean, you brought up a good point. That Elite Eight with Darion getting fouled. I mean, these type of games bring up those opportunities where any play, is going to be debatable. It's going to be something people will argue about for years to come. I mean, these are the moments. These are the moments of the March Madness.
Definitely. That's it's one shining moment. And that's definitely a shining moment that took us to a special place years ago. At the same time, it's a new year here. Forget what happened in the regular season. Forget what happened in Vegas. It's like if we're anything like a San Diego team, we play up to the level of competition. If you've been a San Diego sports fan long enough, we play up. And I have no doubt we're going to play up, especially when you've got a name brand team in front of you. As Mike said earlier in the chat, national TV, you're the game. We're going to be America's team, but not like the Dallas Cowboys kind of America's team. We're going to pull through. That's going to be the difference.
Love it. Love it. Love it. RJ is going to be an interesting one to guard against. You feel we've got to tire him out, man.
Nah, I know that we did the same treatment we do with the guards, Dent earlier this season. Dare I say his name? That Chimmer guy from that school to not be named. I remember that game in 2011, the conference final. They were switching on him. They had Billy White on him. They had Carwell on him. They had anybody and everybody, just bodies on him. Even if you have to bring in Shea for a player or two, just to take a couple fouls, take something. I'm not saying be the goon, but I'm saying just hire him out. I think you've got a shot. Like, we have a tendency of exposing one of the other team's strengths. And if that means if it's BJ shutting down RJ, as T-Mac kind of alludes to, like, if he's the guy who frustrates RJ and gets him out of his element, then we've won that battle. And maybe winning that battle is going to help us win the war tomorrow.
It's going to be an interesting one. He is a senior, so that's going to be, it's an interesting matchup there. Chino, thank you so much, man. We'll bring you back in just a little bit if we got you, man.
Hey, I'll keep typing away. Thanks, Mateo. Thanks, Mike. Always good to see y'all.
You too, man. So I got about 10 minutes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You're
sir.
okay with that? Yeah, I gotta get my love. Hey man, by the way, she did so good at gymnastics last night. She came in second in her age group in state. I know it's Nevada, but she was so excited, man. I was so proud of her. It's fun to see, like Coach Dutch had his third granddaughter. That side, his family only produces women. He's got 2 daughters, 3 granddaughters, right? And it's funny because I remember like when we were pregnant. My father-in-law was an accountant, and he's just very matter of fact. I was like, hey, you kind of want a boy as a guy, you want a boy, right? I'm so glad.
Even out the ledger, even out the
Yeah,
ledger.
yeah, I'm so glad I have a daughter though. And I was like, you saying something? He's like, Mike, they can't make little boys without little girls. And I'm like, all right, thank you, I appreciate it. He passed me a beer. So, but which kind of, I guess, jumps me to the fact is like these parents get to see their kids play another time. You know what I mean? And just get to travel with them and have the experience with them and share the experience with it. Obviously, Miles has had it, and so has Nick. But to share it as a team, is pretty cool, man. You know what I mean? To get this opportunity to have this bonding experience of you get to go to Dayton, and however it plays out, it plays out. But um, what a blessing, man. You know. I mean, we're really lucky, man. Like we're really lucky. I like a lot. Like we talk about, we're OGs. We've been around for like since the '80s, late '80s, But like, I wouldn't say it bothers me. Like these, oh, we got to go to this and this, that. The guys who've been around 10, 12 years and stuff like that. And I get it. It's just, but they haven't seen what we've seen, and so the appreciation of where we are from where we've come is pretty awesome, especially from your alma mater. And to me, college basketball is my favorite sport. And then you get this, and then when they went to the Natty, I mean, I was like crying. Like it's just there's a bond, and certain people have different bonds with different teams and different ideologies and stuff like that. But this to me is the best weekend of the year. It's the best weekend of the year, and you get these teams, you get to see teams you don't necessarily get to see, and it's just on all day, and it's fun, man. Like, hey, let's go, dude. I'm ready to go. I just want to play North Carolina. Just get a chance to play him, and whoever plays better and makes more shots obviously wins. So simple as that. It's not like any rocket science, but it's kind of how we're going to get to that end game and how they're going to try and stop us. Or I was actually worried. Do you think that they're trying to figure out how to play against us or play like are they more worried about how they're going to play against us or how they're going to play against or how we're going to play against them? You know what I mean? I've always wondered how that plays into each coach's before a team that you haven't seen. I mean, we haven't seen them in 40 years, 35 years. So obviously it's a different team, but
It's
with
like,
that,
are they more concerned with what they do or what they do to stop us
right,
type of
right.
thing? Yeah.
And obviously with only a day or two turnaround, I think this is more of a, all right, let's just patchwork it together. Because obviously, whoever wins, they get 2 days to figure it out, right? But this is kind of like, hey, you're going to play Wednesday. Oh no, you're going to play Tuesday. So then you got to
Yeah.
just be like, all right, and you don't have a closed door practice to get your game plan in. So they're going. I'm sure they're at the hotel. I'm sure they're probably asleep now. Hopefully, but that's the one curiosity of mine in the first four is what is the game plan? Each team's different. Each coach is different. What do you try and game plan? Or you just kind of say, hey, let's just try and do what we do, and then if that doesn't work, let's figure it out from there. Which would be
I think,
my kind of idea,
yeah, I think Hubert Davis is a knowledgeable enough coach to realize you got to focus on yourself and what you do best, right? You can't worry about anybody else. Yes, you game plan for them. You try to shut things off. You try to strategically do some things. But if you're not disciplined in what you do, number one, they wouldn't even be in this position. Mike, I did the same thing to Fiend last night, so I do it to you now. I've got with me this magic lamp, and every time you rub this lamp, a genie comes out and he gives you exactly what you wish for. If you were to rub this lamp and a genie would tell you what you think the Aztecs need to do to get this win tomorrow, what is it going to be?
Score more points. Score more points.
Get
I
out of
just,
here.
it to me, it's three things to me. It's the 3-pointers, the offensive rebounds, and the free throws. Like it's those are the three things. But if I had to pick one, I would say rebounding. Was that the
Were
question?
you listening? Were you listening to Fiend last night? Because that's exactly what. It's exactly. What
No. Well, yeah, I listened to him this morning, right? I listened this morning. I wish he would have talked as much as he talked on that Michael Jackson One show. Which I he's on thin ice going to events with me at this point, dude. I mean, real thin ice. But no, it's apparent, and it's the same bugaboo almost every game. We got out rebounded by Boise State, and we didn't hit free throws at the end, right? Or we shot too many threes that didn't go, or we didn't get, So I mean, we have a hive mindset of what is wrong. It's 30 games into the season. This is who they are, and when it's going good, it's going good. When it's going bad, it's going real bad.
Mike, appreciate your time, man. I know you got to run. I'm gonna bring in Flavor Guy to close this thing out, man. But
I'm gonna do the top three.
Yeah. What do you got for us, man? I know you always got your top list, man.
To me, it's the top 3 wins in NCAA tournament for San Diego State.
Okay,
I'm gonna get some brush back here. I can tell you that.
I don't have a drum roll prepared for you. I don't have a drum roll.
I don't need it. I think the Creighton Elite 8 game was my third.
Number 3.
Just because of what it meant against who it was against and where it got us. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
2, hate to do it, FAU game.
2 FAU.
2.
To FAU get to the Natty. Well, okay, Creighton.
Hold on.
I mean, you started off right. You started off right.
Hold on. This is my list. It's not Mateo's list. Michael's list. Miguelito's list. And my number 1 is our first NCAA tournament win in 10-11. That's my number 1.
Northern Colorado.
Yeah. And that's because that was special because that was our first one. So that's my list. And those are the 3.
And you're sticking to it.
That's just, to me, those are that's the first NCAA tournament win in school history is pretty special. And then you wait against your first time to go to the national championship game. But to me, that first game is important because if we didn't win that first game, we don't know where we would be. We would have won eventually, but that's what kind of started our ascension to where we're at now, which I think like that was since 09-10 or something like that. We're one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the country with wins behind the usual, So that's my list. Yeah.
What a purist, man. What a purist.
I try for all my insanities. There's some logic here and there. Oh, all right, man. I appreciate you having me. Sorry, I got to bounce out a little bit early, but thanks for everybody joining. We appreciate you. We love you guys. And if any of our guys are listening or parents or whatever, go Aztecs. We love you. We're rooting for you, and pumped to see you guys play basketball tomorrow night and hopefully get a W against a North Carolina team.
I like the sound of that. On that note, man, we're gonna let you exit to our favorite music of the weekend. Enough of that. We had too good of a time out there in Vegas. Had to bring in that little NJ one. All right, Flavor Guy, I hope you're ready, man. Bringing you on in. He's been here in the chat background from the show. Aztec Flavor Guy, how you doing, man?
Good. Thank you for having me. Always better that we're in the dance at least, but
hey, I'm dancing. I don't care. I don't care what you guys think. I'm
an eventful few days. Yeah. Mike always being wholesome about everything, and the first win against Northern Colorado about his daughter and everything. Always fun. Man.
So what do you got for us, man? What do you got for us?
I think I told you before, but we drove down and the traffic it was Wednesday night was a complete standstill. Like we sat for 3 hours without moving at all. But right before that, we we were listening to the women's game on the radio, and then we stopped in Barstow right at the fourth quarter. So we were just glued to that the entire time, and with all 3 overtimes, and we were just crowding around the little phone with no signal, and the stream cuts out, and we're like, no, and then it comes back, and so that was a lot of fun. I'm glad they got that one. That's good.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Boise game was a disappointment, but it's hard to beat a team 3 times. My take, I mean, Fiend said it the other day, but it's still rebounding. I think that if I have to keep, saying the same thing for a bunch of different games, it's just rebounding, be it offensive or defensive or second chance or however you want to word it. And we've had tall guys and strong guys and athletic guys, and it's not that we get out rebounded every game or anything, but it's just the ones that we lose. That's the stat that I notice. It's not, the shot percentages or the free throws or turnovers or, anything else. It's usually I just notice the rebounds. So. But yeah, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. We thankfully, beat the other. If we had won 1 out of 3 and they won 2 out of 3, I think they'd be dancing. We wouldn't be, right?
Go figure that, the national championship team was so good on defense and rebounding. I mean, it wasn't the glamorous aspects that people think of scoring, and we definitely got that, but that defense and rebounding was so crucial.
Just very well rounded in general, that team, and very deep, very, very, very deep. But yeah,
you talk about rebounding. Boise was one of the better rebounding teams in the nation this year. And I love this point by Steve Diego. Says Boise's record in the NCAA tourney is 0-10. That could have been one of the reasons they were not.
Yeah, they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to, look at that. But doesn't mean they don't. They're not supposed to, care about the athletic director being.
Yeah.
That's another thing is, and I know I've, talked about the net before and everything, but when they put up that graphic too, I almost feel like that was a sort of good excuse for getting UNC in. I'll pull it up right here in a second. But yeah, they had the last 4 in: Texas 39, Xavier 45, SDSU 52, and UNC 36. And my dad said to me, he was like, look, we're 52. We're lower than like all the teams in the last 4 in and most of the teams in the first 4 out. And I'm like, is 36 the reason that the excuse they gave for putting UNC in, like, is that, so I don't know. It's a very simple metric and it does its job, but I wonder if that's sort of an excuse to take them over the 40s and 50s, teams as well.
Well, it's a television show.
Yeah.
It's a television show at the end of the day. The ratings, the networks need the ratings.
Yeah.
And the metrics don't always reflect, the eyeballs that are going to be there.
Yeah, UNC will get more views and everything. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This should be, like you guys are saying, like Mike was saying, like we're America's team now, and that's fun. And we'll be, first 4 slot. Nobody else is competing. Nobody cares about the 16v16s, but every year I always watch the 11s, or whatever number. So yeah, it should be good.
You got that blue blood in there. But like I said, San Diego State's earned that as well. Of course, they're doing it on the court and off the court. So
yeah,
it's great.
And it's going to be hard to beat them. And they're still used to, I mean, it's a weak ACC this year, but it's still, they're used to better competition, and they're going in with everybody hates us mentality, and that they need to win it and everything. So I don't know if we'll have Magoon, and then I don't know if he'll be any practiced at all. I don't know if a more practiced Heidi would be better. The sort of silver lining is if he gets some minutes, if we win, then we could have a more practiced Magoon for the first actual round, right?
Yeah. So it's been official. Magoon did have a full practice today. Okay. All good. Everything good. Obviously, I think he's wearing a wrap or a brace or something on that knee, but from everything we've heard, it hasn't affected. So, hey, ESPN, they're all talking about North Carolina. CBS Sports is all talking about North Carolina. They're going to come out with a chip on their shoulder, but all that pressure as well. So I think we've got a real opportunity to seize the moment and beat a blue blood, beat an ACC team. Yeah. We struggled against, like we talked about last night. We struggled against North Carolina State. We struggled against Duke when they won the Natty. Struggled against Syracuse. Several others. So we've got to get this ACC chip off of our shoulder.
Yeah. And if we do win, then I guess it's been said before, but then we'd have an easier path I mean, Ole Miss is a good SEC team. The SEC is very strong. Who knows with Iowa State with injuries or whatever, but that would be nice. I mean, just making March this year with given how much of the scoring we've lost and everything, and we've lost basically everybody graduating or transferring except for Reese, and then he got injured, and then we had Magoon, and then he got injured, and so they just even make March. I mean, obviously we want to win it, and we have these expectations as Aztec fans, especially now with back-to-back Sweet 16s. Like how many teams have back-to-back other than UConn, right? Sweet 16. Is there one or two others? 1-0, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so we were very spoiled. And it's what Fiend was saying the other day is we're so used to it. Like I've been going to Vegas since like 2018, I think, and we've never not made the final. And I tell people, I'm like, one of these years we're not going to make the final, and we'll show up for one game. So you got to be mentally prepared for that. But yeah,
Barry with the Zags. Gonzaga, yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, unpopular opinion, maybe. And before we wrap things up, I love this from Larry Joe. I share. We've talked about this during the year as well. He says, "What unis are our guys wearing tomorrow? Home white or away black? What if they bust out the Reds?" Now, you ask me. I think this is a perfect game to bust out the Reds. Both teams are Jordan brand, so you come out with that Tar Heel North Carolina blue, you get that San Diego State red. Oh my goodness, that would be a beautiful sight on the court just visually. And hey, when we wear the Reds, we win. I don't care what you guys say. We may struggle with San Jose or Air
when
Force.
We wear the
whatever.
Reds, we nearly lose to San Jose State at home.
But we win. But we win.
But we win. All right.
But
yeah.
we win. But we win.
I don't care as long as it's a W, but
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I still don't. Maybe I'm the only Aztec fan thinking this because people are like, oh, we'll be in or we won't be in or whatever. But I just didn't think we deserved to be first four. I don't know. You could call me a homer or something, but I mean, we played in a good Mountain West. I'd say, barring the West Coast Conference, the best non-Power 5 league in basketball this year. And we won most of them, especially until the very end with Magoon, where we went like 3 for 6. And then our non-conference, we played Gonzaga, UCSD, Creighton, Oregon, Houston. We won 3/5 of those. Like, I don't know what more you want. I mean, I'm not saying we're a 1 seed, but like, doesn't feel like we were first 4. And there were a low number of upsets, this year, thankfully, because otherwise I guess we wouldn't have made it. But yeah, I don't know if, again, part of the conspiracy is that they picked us when we shouldn't have been first 4 just to make us fly out super early or what, but conspiracy. But I just didn't think we were first 4. But I think the seeding, usually I'm not as critical about the committee, but like Louisville at 8, Michigan at 5, but then Wisconsin's at 3. Like, I don't follow ball as much as you guys do, but I don't know about the seeding. And then maybe, again, a little more of a homer take here. And I know UCSD is in a bad Big West, but like they played at SDSU and at Utah State, and they have 4 losses and they have the longest win streak. And you're saying, oh, against garbage teams, or they beat UCI 2/3 of the time. You say, oh, well, against garbage teams, or UCI, 4 or 5 losses too. And they're, I don't know. All metrics pointed to them being like a 9 or 10. Most bracket matrix things had them at 10 or 11. I think that they should have been a 10, they'd be 11. So I was surprised that they're a 12 and they get a 5 seed that's really like a 3 seed. So, and they're still only Michigan's only favored by like 3 or something, which kind of blew my mind.
That's one of those
to me.
That's one of those welcome to the dance.
Right, here you
seedings.
Go. Like hey. let's teach them what it's like. Let's make them grow up real fast, man.
I don't have a problem with that.
Interesting seedings this year, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for tomorrow. It's game time. All this talking, all this stuff is going to come to an end, or it's going to get even louder because whatever happens after this game, somebody's going to be upset. Somebody's going to be disappointed. And, either way, I piggyback off what Mike says. We're so fortunate to have these games, to be in the dance, to actually have the opportunity just to watch another game and cheer these guys on. This is something these guys live for and put all the hard work into in their college career. So wonderful time.
Also, not to get too far ahead or be too pessimistic or whatever, but Also for next year, we get probably Bird back, probably hopefully Magoon healthy, Boyd. I
We'll
mean,
see.
we
We'll
you know
see.
we have some young guys this year, so if we can win a game or two in March this year, and then we have a really strong year next year. And when was the last time we had a weak team? You know, you're getting on closer to a decade or something, right? So
Absolutely.
less, but still.
We'll get to that. We'll get to all that stuff for next year.
Good stuff in the future, short and long.
Hopefully, we don't have to talk about that for another couple weeks. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah, let's enjoy March.
Flavor God, thank you for joining. Everybody, thank you for joining this live stream tonight. Back-to-back episodes. We'll have to see when we get on next, because North Carolina, San Diego State, 6:10 p.m. tip-off Pacific time on True TV, I believe it is. And a few of us might be gathering tomorrow evening for the game. Either we'll have to tweet out or post out where we're going to be. So if you're not watching anywhere, come down and join us. All right, everybody. On behalf of Mike Tortolot, SD Sports Fiend, who joined us last night, make sure you guys check out that episode to get his takes. Tonight, Mike held it down. Thank you to El Chino, and of course you, Flavor Guy. Thank you, man. Everybody, have a great night. SonsofMontezuma.com. Go Aztecs beat the Tarheels, which is like a ram or a lamb or something like
that. Yeah, they always have a different, like a mascot, and then the thing, like Miami's Hurricanes, and they have the bird, and
beat them heels.
Something. We need a mascot. I mean, go Aztecs. This should be a great game. Let's go Tex.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. See ya.